Hey folks, Harry here. Thank you for tuning in to this playthrough of Village Emporium, the Orc Raiders expansion. So this is a roll and write style game for one player in which you are going to be running an emporium in a kind of fantasy realm, and you're going to be foraging, trading and selling goods from your shop in the center of the map here. So that's a basic overview. This is the expansion to Village Emporium though. This is the Orc Raiders expansion, and I think it would help if I read out the thematic text that we're greeted with in the rulebook, which is, "It's a bad time to be opening a Village Emporium. The Orc Raiders, previously only a distant threat heard of in whispered rumors, have set up camp close to the village," which you can see here. "The increased orc activity will certainly make it trickier to establish your new enterprise, but you're up to the challenge and determined to make a success of your new emporium. Village Emporium Orc Raiders is an expansion to Village Emporium. You will need the original game rules to play. Instead of using the original game sheet, you may now use the Orc Raiders game sheet and associated additional rules outlined in this rulebook, providing a more challenging experience." And that's what it is. That's pretty accurate because it is a bit more challenging than the original game. And I won't go into too much detail here, but this was my original game, just playing Village Emporium. And in that game, you had haggle points and eagle eye points, which allowed you to manipulate the dice results a bit. And you also had a few bonus foraging spots, whereas the bonus foraging spots in the Orc Raiders expansion come at a cost, in that you're going to anger these Orc Raiders and increase the raid risk there. So I think the additions to the game do add a lot of tension to it, and I've only played about halfway through the expansion. Then I thought I'll go ahead and I'll record the playthrough because there hasn't been one made for this game yet. I think it deserves one. So let's get into it, and as I go, I'll try to explain my thought process and the rules, but I'm not going to explain the rules well or in detail. So if you are interested in the game, you can check it out in the link that I'll provide in the description. It's a very affordable game, so I think it only costs a couple of dollars or something. So if you're interested, check it out. All right, but let's get into it. So the basic flow of the game is going to revolve around this game sheet here. Now I have some other tables that we'll need to reference throughout the game here and also here, but mostly we'll just be using this game sheet here. And the game will take place over a year essentially, and in each season we will have a little bit of a different thing to think about. And so there'll be 6 turns in each season, so 24 turns in the entire game. And throughout the game we're trying to earn commerce points that are going to give us our total at the end, and then we can compare our total with some other rival shops in the area. When I played the original game, I earned a score of 26, which resulted in me having a almost great, the second best score you get, which was impressive. Your reputation has grown to the point where some prefer your establishment to the Eager Otter Boutique. So I think though that this version is going to be a lot more difficult, and so if I can try to beat my score of 26 in the previous game, then I'm going to consider that a win. But let's see how we go. All right, so the setup is the same for the Orc Raiders expansion. However, we have an Orc Chieftain to worry about, and we're going to roll to see which Chieftain we get. And the Chieftains are listed here. So this is going to be a random roll we start the game with. I might put that there. So let's see which chieftain we got. 6 is going to be Gulathal the Vicious. Gulathal is notoriously vicious. The threat keeps on increasing. At the end of each season, add 1 to the raid risk tracker. That's not too bad because it's only going to add a total of 3, because by the end of winter, that's the end of the game anyway, so that's not too bad. So we're going to write his name here. His, I don't know, maybe his, could be hers, could be theirs, we don't know. There we go, Gulathal, and I just need to remember to add that raid risk track at the end of each season. So I think the best way to remember that would be, I think I might just make a memo because this is the kind of thing I will forget. So I'm just going to add RR for raid risk at the end of each. I don't think it's going to matter if we add it at the end of winter, but we'll see how we go. All right, so I've got my Orc Chieftain and Gulathol is hanging out here. We're going to be starting here and we're going to, on our turn, either forage in the landscape or we're going to trade from these traders here, or we're going to sell stuff from our shop. What do we have in our shop? Well, at the start of each game, you work out what you have by rolling the dice and populating your shop with one of each resource from the table here, along with one of Trader A's goods and one of Trader B's goods. I want to also mention that if you're playing this, I really recommend laminating the game sheet if you have it, and then just using a marker of some kind to play with, because that will make the erasing of resources and stuff a lot easier. Unfortunately, I don't have a laminator right now, so I'm just going to be using a pencil and kind of erasing as I go. So things might get a little messy, but all right, but getting back to it, let's see what our shop starts with. So we're going to start by getting a resource from the plains, and that's a 4, so 4 equals a wild carrot. So here are our goods that are in our shop. We have 5 slots for goods with potential to add 2 more slots later. But we'll start by adding our wild carrot, and we have 1 wild carrot. And next we're going to see what we got from the forest to start our game, which was a 3, which is a truffle. So in general, the lower numbers are worse when it comes to foraging. So a truffle is more of a common item. So we're not going to earn that much cash when we sell it. And finally, we get something from the river, which is a 1. So that is seaweed. And so write seaweed here. And we have 1 piece of seaweed. All right. Now we're going to have 2 trade goods as well. So we start with Trader A. And oops. Oh, no, doesn't count. 5. All right. Trader A, that is Mage's Robes. So here we're going to write Mage's Robes. And we have one set of Mage's Robes. And next from Trader B, 3 boar meat. 1 slab of boar meat. Raring to go when it comes time to sell some things. All right, so here's our starting stock. And we also start with 5 coin. Now, one thing you can do is the basic flow of the game, I should just quickly mention here, is we're going to be foraging, trading, or running our shop. We're going to choose one of 3 to do. Then we're going to do any upgrades we want by choosing an upgrade here and then adding that to our game from then on. And then the orcs will do something at the end of each round, which you'll see. And then finally, we'll mark off a day in the time tracker. Now, an upgrade you can do is also you can hire an assistant for 3 gold. And you can actually do that before. It's a kind of special upgrade. You can do it any time in the season. The assistant just lasts for that season, but that allows you to do 2 actions during that season, which I thought was always worth doing pretty much. So I think I'm gonna start by hiring an assistant. Now, hiring an assistant costs 3 gold, but we start with 5 gold. So I'm gonna hire my assistant for 3, and we have 2 gold remaining. I should say coin. That's the operative word in this game. All right, so I've got 2 coin and we're ready to go. So I think now we have the reason we have an assistant, by the way, is we can do 2 of the main actions. So you can do 2 actions where regularly without the assistant, you can only do 1. All right, so we're gonna do 2 things. We're gonna start with foraging. We'll start by foraging. So we have to forage one of these adjacent spaces to our Emporium here. So here's our village and the Emporium is in the village. I believe you can also, adjacency also refers to diagonal spaces in the game. I think that is true, but in any case, I'm just gonna start by foraging here. You can only forage one area once per game. So we're not gonna be able to forage on every single turn because there are only, let's see, I think I counted it before. There's 1, 2, 3, 6. There's 20 spaces and there's 24 turns. So we're not going to be able to forage every turn. In any case, we've chosen to forage the river. So the way that works is we will just check our table here and we roll the dice and we get a 1. So that means we get 1 more piece of seaweed. So we can mark that down there. Now we have 2 seaweed and that's the first action. But because we have our trusty assistant, maybe we've sent them out to forage. They've collected some seaweed, and in the meantime, we can either trade or run the shop. Now, trading doesn't make a lot of sense because we only have enough money to afford one thing, so there's a good chance we wouldn't even be able to get it anyway. So we're not going to trade, and we're going to run the shop. When you run the shop, you can sell to either out-of-town customers or you can sell to local customers, which are written here. And it's important to just have a quick look at what the customers actually want, because mostly the out-of-town customers want more unique things that you're going to get from traders, whereas the local customers want the basic things that you get from foraging. So with that in mind, I think we'll choose to serve a local customer, and hopefully we can serve them. So with local customers, we're going to roll 2 dice and see the results, which is a 9. And this means that Hans has walked into our shop and he's looking for apple, snake skin, or boar meat. Now, you need to sell at least one of these things. Now, we don't have apple or snake skin, but we do have boar meat. So I think we'll sell some of that. Because that's our last bit of boar meat, I'm just going to erase that. And this shows you the benefits of having a laminator. All right, so I've sold the boar meat to Hans, and I have sold that for whatever it cost to trade plus 2. So boar meat was 4, so I've sold it for 6, meaning now I have 8 coin. I'm going to turn the 2 into an 8. All right, so that's done. Now I can actually go again and I can serve another local customer or another out-of-town customer, and I think I will do that. This is for a local customer of 6, which would be Brigger, who is after a wild carrot, apple, or an iron sword. And we do have a wild carrot, so why not? Let's sell the wild carrot. So I'm going to erase that. And because that is a foraged good, the wild carrot is just the cost of coin next to it, which is 1 coin. So just 1 coin for that wild carrot. So that's not much. So we're up to 9 now. And that's actually the end for the run the shop phase. You can't service more than 2 customers each turn unless you can I think there's an upgrade somewhere. The fancy sign lets you serve a 3rd customer each day if you are successful serving the first 2. So when you serve customers, you do need to be successful serving the first one to have the option to do the second one, which we were. So that's going to be it for that. So the next step is we can upgrade our shop. We have 9 coin. I'm thinking in the next turn we want to save at least 5 coin to be able to buy some stuff from traders, because those we have lots of space for trading goods. So I want to save 5. So I'm thinking of an upgrade that just costs 4 perhaps. All right, so let's do expanded storage. So I'm going to fill that in, and expanded storage means now we can add our more forage goods here, which I think is good. And that costs 4. So we are back down to 5 coin. The last thing we need to do in a round is to see what's going on with our orcs and our Orc Raiders and see what they're up to. And the way that works is we're just going to roll a 2d6. So we're going to roll, see what we get. 9, and then we're going to add whatever the raid risk is, which is nothing right now. So that's going to stay as a 9. And then we see what the result was. So 9 is the orcs are being mean to the locals, and the effect is local customers will not visit your emporium next round. All right, so that means we can't serve them in the next round. So maybe we won't run the shop in the next round, or we just serve the out-of-town customers if we do want to do that. All right, and then and the last thing to do is just to check off the end of the round, and that's it. And that's the basic way the game plays. All right, so let's press on into our second round, and I'm gonna keep going down the river, and I'm gonna keep foraging. I've sent my assistant out to forage, so we have the assistant, and they're going to forage the river. The reason I've chosen the river, by the way, is because at the end, in the final round, the final season, winter, we can't forage the river, so we do want to get to all the river spaces before we get to the final season. Let's see what we get. What our assistant brings back. 6, that's pretty good. All right, so 6, they have gone foraging through the river and they have found a pearl. All right, so this slot became free when I sold the wild carrot before. So let's add the pearl there. And we just have 1 pearl. But pearls are good because they're worth 4. And when we come time to sell them. And I think we're going to do some trading because we have 5 coins. So the way trading works is you just choose one of the traders. And I think I'll just choose maybe trader B this time. And we roll the dice to see what we can trade. 6, the elixir of strength. We have 5 to spend, so we're going to spend our 5 coin, taking us to 0 coin, and get an elixir of strength. There we go, 1. Now, one difference between the Orc Raiders expansion and Village, just the regular game, is that whenever you visit a trader, you have to check off that you have visited them. And when you hit 3, that's going to also increase your raid risk. So that's another way the raid risk gets increased. So we just need to be careful not to visit trader B too often. Otherwise, our risk is going to get ramped up. So that is going to be the almost the end of the round. However, we need to see what the orcs are doing as well. And so let's roll the 2d6. And we got 2. All right. So 2 is good because they seem relaxed. They must have eaten 9 or 10 of Brigger's tasty carrot pies. The orcs stay in camp playing board games and making cookies. So that basically means if you get 8 or under when it comes to the orc action roll, then nothing happens, which is good, particularly early on when we don't want the raid risk to go up. And that is the end of that round. I'll move on to the next round. And so you can see that mostly you're going to be foraging at the start of each round, except towards the end of the game when the foraging spaces start to dry up, then you might be skipping that action entirely. But I'm going to press ahead, and just for fun, let's forage let's keep going along the river. And I'll forage this spot here. And so I sent my assistant out to forage, and he has collected 1. He has dug up some seaweed from the side of the riverbank. We're up to 3 seaweed now. Meanwhile, I think I can't really trade because I can't trade at all. There's no really about it. I have no coin. So with my action, I can't trade. So I really have to run the shop. Now, in the first round, we weren't allowed to serve local customers, but we can in this round. So we've got the option to serve local customers or out-of-town customers. And it's worth just having a quick look to see if you can actually serve these customers. So the first one I can because I have an elixir. The second one I can because I have a pearl, same as the third. I can't serve 5, 6, 7, can serve 8, 11, and 12. I don't think I can serve. So I can't serve many out-of-town customers, so it doesn't really make sense to try to serve them right now. It's better to build up more trade goods and also just more goods in general and then try to serve these customers. So I think I'll just serve a local customer. So let's see who we got today. Strolling through the doors of the Village Emporium. It's 3. It's Sven. And Sven is after dock leaves, a wild carrot, or ironmongery. And no, we don't have dock leaves. We don't have a wild carrot. Oh, no, we don't have anything. Sorry, I was getting confused because I did do a playthrough earlier where dock leaves were everywhere, but that's not the case. All right, so nothing happens. We cannot serve the customer, so Sven walks home empty-handed and sad, and that is the end of that. I could do upgrades if I had any coin, but I don't have any coin. So unfortunately, we're going to have to skip straight to the orc action for the round, and that's going to be a 6. And again, anything 8 or under means they're just staying home playing board games and not interfering, which is good. And that is the end of that round there. All right, for the next round, we're going to press on along the river, I think. So let's go to this section here, send our assistant to the river. Again, I'm continue sending them to the river because I think it's good to get a trout or a pearl. So I'm really hoping to maybe get a 4, 5, or 6 on this next roll. 6, so that's another pearl. That's pretty good. So let's add that there. And for the second action, we're gonna run the shop again. And we're gonna try to serve a local customer again. Hopefully Sven doesn't walk back through the doors because he's gonna go home empty-handed once more. 11. So Mikhail is after a honeycomb, trout, or a healing balm. And we don't have any of that. So we're really disappointing our customers, unfortunately. So we don't get any coin there, and it is over to the Orcs, the Orc Raiders. Next turn, Gulathal and his henchmen. They seem pretty relaxed. They're still relaxed, so they're staying at home. So at least they're not getting, at least they've calmed down. That's the one advantage of the recent dice rolls. So for the next turn, I think we will go in a bit of a different area to try to get some different stock because the current stock of truffle, seaweed, and pearl is not very popular for our customers. So let's try a forest. So we'll go here. So our assistant has been sent to the forest. Let's see what they find. 4, and they found an apple. And the apple here. All right, that's good. And can't trade because we don't have enough coin to do anything there. So we're going to serve customers again. And let's try local customers one more time. So let's try them one more time. Now we have the apple. I think we have a few more opportunities to serve the customers. So let's see. 6. All right, so Brigger has walked in looking for a wild carrot, apple, or an iron sword. So luckily we did get that apple, so we can serve Brigger. So we sell the apple, removing it from the shelf, and that is going to earn us 2 coin. So that's better than nothing. So we get 2 coin there, and we can go again actually. So we may as well. We're running the shop, so we may as well see when another customer walk through the doors. And in this case, it is Hilda, who is searching for truffle, seaweed, or a wooden shield. So we have truffle and seaweed, so that's good. We could sell both of them. However, does that make sense? Why not? I'm going to sell, even though we're going to make truffles sold out, let's do that. So let's sell them 1 truffle and one seaweed. So our seaweed stock is down to 2, and we don't have any truffles at all left. And the seaweed costs 2, and truffles cost 1. So seaweed in this world, seaweed is more valuable than truffles, which is why not? All right, so that we're now up to 5 coin. Now I could upgrade, however, I really do want to start getting some more trade goods so our run the shop action can be a bit more profitable. So I'm not going to upgrade. So then we skip to our orc action of the round is 8. So luckily we don't have anything on the raid risk tracker. And as we know, means that the orcs is still hanging out, just chilling and not attacking us, which is good. So that is the end of spring. And we just have one more round for the season. So let's do it. And going to the forest worked out well for us last time. The one thing to keep in mind though is when we forage in autumn, we'll actually get an extra resource each time we forage. So maybe we don't want to go, maybe we don't want to completely strip the forest bare of goods. And one thing I'm thinking about is foraging these spots here around the orc camp. The problem is that when you do that, you get an extra resource. However, when you do that, you increase the raid risk by 1, which is quite significant, I think. So I don't want to do that just yet, but we do need to do that at some point before winter so we can still forage the river. And all right, so anyway, a lot of waffling there, but I think in the end, I'm just going to go and forage maybe these plains here. Forage action. Actually, no, let's not forage at all. Change my mind. Let's not forage, and let's instead let our assistant do some trading because we have 5 coin. And let's go to Trader A this time. So go to Trader A, and well, that's weird. I have to roll that again. 6, and Trader A is offering a treasure map for 5 coin, which we gladly buy. And again, we have to cross off that we have visited Trader A. and we get up one treasure map. Very good. We don't have any coin now, so that was the first action that we've used our assistant for, and now maybe we will try to serve a customer. And I think now we've got a few different trade goods, and we only have a pearl and a seaweed, but pearls, from memory, a couple of out-of-town customers do want the pearls, so I think it might be worth trying to serve an out-of-town customer. And the reason I say that is because you do get commerce points, which is the victory points in the game by serving out-of-town customers, so that is worth doing. So let's try that. So let's roll the dice, see if we can get an out-of-town customer to walk through the doors. And we got a 7, so which is Balin, who is after snakeskin, a treasure map, or a paraglider. Luckily, we just purchased that treasure map, so that's good. So let's sell that immediately to them. Raising it here, and the treasure map cost us 5, so we sold it for 6, giving us 7 coin. And we have now served Balin, so we can cross that off there. So that's good. And we, again, that was the first customer we served. We can try to serve another one. I think it's always worth trying. And that could be a local customer or an out-of-town customer. Let's try another out-of-town customer. 7 again. All right, so Balin is so happy with the treasure map that he's walked back through the doors. And unfortunately, we don't have anything for him left. So he is probably not so happy now, but that's okay. And that is almost it. We could then do an upgrade if we wanted to. And let's see. No, maybe not, because I want to save at least 3 coin to hire the assistant again for the next round. The assistant, you mean Chris? Customer rolled by one of the staff uniform. Oh, this would have been good. I should have been saving up for this. That's okay. All right, so we're going to keep our coin. We're going to stop there. And we'll just see what the orcs are thinking for this last round in spring, and they're not doing much. So we're safe there. We cross off the final round because that is the end of spring. As we remember with our chieftain, he is Gulathol the Vicious. He increases the threat at the end of each season. So that is not good. But the threat's only at 1 now, so that's not so bad. So now we're moving into summer. I'm going to try to speed things up a little bit this video it doesn't become too long. And we need to hire our assistant at the start of summer. And thankfully, the minimum wage in this land is pretty cheap. We can hire them for a whole season for 3 coin. So we have 4 coin left. And we're going to send them out. We get an extra roll when foraging in the plains this round. So we're going to start doing that straight away by sending our assistant out here. And in this case, I'm just going to roll 2d6 instead. See what they got from the plains. 2 and a 6. So we got dock leaves and a snake skin. So let's add our dock leaves here. Dock leaves. I must admit, I'm actually not sure what dock leaves are, but it's a good thing that our assistant can identify them. There we go. And I could trade, but I only have 4 coin. So the issue with that is if I roll a 6 or a 5, I could potentially roll and not be able to trade anything. So let's not do that. Let's try to sell some stuff. Let's open up the shop, and we'll do out-of-town customers again. That was working well for us last time. And this time we do have snakeskin if Balin decides to make a 3rd appearance. And we got a 9, and that is Amara, who is looking for a trout, a magic scroll, or a ruby amulet. So that we don't have any of those items. So Amara, don't let the door hit you on the way out. That is the end of the run the shop phase. So we're going to move straight on to, we could do upgrades, but I think we'll save that for now because I do want to get some of these more expensive upgrades that are going to give us some better upgrades. All right, so let's see what the orcs are doing. Roll 2 + 1, 3. They're still playing board games, so that's good. They're not attacking us, which is excellent. And we move on. Oh, so we mark that down and we move on to our next round. We're going to keep foraging in the plains. We send our assistant out there, and again, we get extra dice when we go foraging in summer. And so, 2 twos, which means 2 bushels of dock leaves. So now we're up to 3 of those. And that could trade, but again, we only have 4 coins, so I think it's best to serve some customers. As far as I can see, none of the out-of-town customers ever want dock leaves. whereas some of the local customers do, and we're starting to build up a bit of a stock of those, so it's good to try to sell those. So let's serve the local customers. And we got 6, so Brigget is back looking for wild carrots, apples, or iron swords. And we have disappointed her. We don't have any of those. So that's that. Let's see what the orcs are doing. 8 plus 1 because of our raid risk. So now they're being mean to locals, all right? So local customers will not visit the Emporium next round. So on the next round, they're not going to visit the Emporium. All right, but that is the end of this round. And it's time to go foraging again. We send our trusty sidekick out to the plains, and they bring back more dock leaves. So we are up to 5 sets of dock leaves. Unfortunately, the customers who actually like dock leaves are local customers. And they're not going to come to our shop because the orcs have been terrorizing them too much. So we're not going to be able to serve our local customers. So we may as well have a dip at serving our out-of-town customers. So maybe we get lucky and someone wants the mage's robes or the elixir. So let's see who we get. 8. So this is Milo. Milo is after seaweed, pearl, or an ancient mirror. So that's good for us because we have pearl and seaweed. So I think we sell them both. Let's sell them both and mark off 1 seaweed. And the pearls are worth 4, seaweed is worth 2. So that gives us an extra 6. So we're up to 10. And we do have the option of serving a customer again, which I think is basically always worth doing because you can decide not to serve them if you don't have the goods, then you don't have the choice. All right, next 8. Milo is back. Oh, color that in to show that I've served Milo at all. Milo's back. If I wanted to, I could sell one of these things, one of these items again. I could sell them both again, actually. I don't see any reason not to, actually. So let's just totally wipe out our pearl and seaweed stock for the sake of serving Milo. And that was worth 6 in total. So we're up to 16 coin now. Starting to build up some cash reserves. I guess the one reason why you wouldn't want to just get rid of all your stock is if you did serve a local customer in the future and you'd exhausted what you could have sold them. So I guess that would be the reason. But anyway, I've gone ahead and done it now. And now I can do some upgrades finally. And I do want to make sure I have at least 5 left to do some trading in the next round. So while that means I can still basically do any one of these, I think the smart thing to do is to get staff uniforms, which means you may increase the customer roll by 1 or 2, and your assistant won't quit at the end of the season, or as a result of an orc action. So some orc actions actually make your assistant quit, which is pretty unfortunate. So I think that's worth doing. So I'm gonna fill that in, and that costs 9, so we're down to 7. And it's the orc's turn. See what they're up to. 2 plus 1, so 3. So he's called Gulathal the Vicious, but in this, up till now, he's been pretty chill actually, which we appreciate. The next round starts, and we're gonna send our assistant out to the plains as usual. They're gonna do some foraging for 2 sets of goods. 2 6s, great. All right, so that means 2 sets of snake skin, which actually they're not worth that much, but still, that's better than nothing. So now in our shop, we're loaded up with snake skin and dock leaves, and we have 2 trade goods. I think with the second action in this round, we'll do some trading. And so let's trade with Trader B. 6 and Elixir of Strength again. Let's trade that. So now we have 2 Elixirs of Strength. Now, I'm actually thinking maybe we don't do that because there's only one customer that requires the Elixir of Strength. And just want to check. Can we choose not to trade? Trade if you wish to trade. No, so you don't need to trade. So actually, I'm not going to get that Elixir of Strength because it's actually not that useful. Now that I look at, because it's really just this customer Hino that is after it. I guess everyone else is strong enough. And now heading out to every time you visit a trader. So we still visited the trader though. So even though we didn't buy anything, we still visited them. So we do fill in a box there. So this is getting closer to increasing our raid risk, unfortunately. And we could do upgrades. That's the end of, we're up to our upgrade phase. Run the shop turn, you may roll your re-roll the dice. Run the shop. This could be handy actually, and then that would bring us down to, no, actually we'll just won't do any upgrades right just yet. So let's see what the orcs are doing at the end of the round. 7 + 1 gives us 8, which means they are still in camp not doing anything. So we're safe from the Orc Raiders. That is the end of that round. All right, we start a new round. We get a 2 and a 5. Oh, sorry, we should be going here. So we're foraging. We get a 2 and a 5. So we are up to, we have a wild carrot now. That's not bad. We got a 6 dock leaf. So we are flush with dock leaves. So we're up to 6. And we got a wild carrot now, which is good. So I might put the wild carrot here. Wild carrot. And I want to trade again. This time we'll go to trader A. Let's see what trader A has to offer. 3 leather gauntlets for $3. 3 coin. So we visited trader A, so let's fill that in. Leather gauntlets gives us 4. We bought them for 3. So leather gauntlets, 1. All right, so we've done our 2 actions for the round. We could do upgrades if we wanted to. We're gonna see what the orcs are up to. Oh, whoops. I'll put that there because it was a 10 + 1, so we got 11 here. All right, the orcs, 11 means orcs are foraging too. Cross out a single plains or forest location. You may no longer forage here, and it cannot count towards your final score. Wow, that's a rough one, actually. That is not good. I think the best thing to do would be, I think we have one more plain. Let's do this plains here. So the orcs have maybe swum through the, hang on, let's see. Well, actually, I'm going to change. It doesn't really matter too much, but I thought I would cross that spot out there, but I think it makes more sense that the orcs are foraging the nearby where their encampment. So maybe we'll cross out this forest location up here. I probably could have just put the cross there. Double cross. All right, so that was, that's unfortunate. All right, that's the end of the round. All right, and then the final round of summer. And with this, that's another reason why I wanted to keep this location open, so we can go foraging here. One last time in the plains, we have our assistant heads out and they get a 5 and a 6, meaning they get another wild carrot and another snake skin. So up to 2 wild carrots and 4 snake skins. We can trade if we want to, but we only have 4 coin. So I think it's best to serve some customers, and let's serve some locals. So let's see what the locals after. Who comes in? 6. Bridget is in the shop and she's after Walker. Oh, also we can increase the customer roll by 1 or 2. So I could change that if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. We'll stick with that. So Bridget comes in looking for wild carrots. We can sell her 1 wild carrot. So we'll do that, and that is for a grand total of 1 coin. Isn't much, but if you consider that hiring the assistant was only 3 coin, then it's not so bad. So we are up to 5, and so let's serve an out-of-town customer. Let's try that. 8, but we can increase the customer roll by 1 or 2. So we could serve Milo again. No, we couldn't because we don't have anything he wants. We could serve Amara, but we don't have anything they want. Or we could serve Willow, but we don't have anything they want. We can't serve anybody. So that's the end of that. And finally, the orcs are doing something. Let's see what they're up to. 8 + 1, so that's 9. Means local customers are not going to visit the Emporium next round. So no local customers in the start of autumn, because that is the end of summer. That's that. So now we're into autumn. Usually we'd need to rehire the assistant, but because we got the staff uniforms, the assistant is sticking around. They are just loyal to a fault. They're not even getting paid anymore. So we have our assistant here, but we won't be able to serve local customers in the first round of autumn. However, we want to be foraging. We don't have that many forage locations left, I'm realizing. So that's a little unfortunate. We're going to try to build up our coin a bit, I think. So then we can do, with our 2 actions, we can go trading and then serving customers. And we got so much dock leaf and snake skin, we need to get rid of that. Anyway, let's send our assistant, who's doing everything pro bono, out to the forest. And it is autumn, so we get two resources from the forest, which is 2 and a 3, which in this case is the same thing, which is 2 truffles. So truffles and 2, that's pretty good. And we have our 2 truffles, and we could trade, but I think so we want to build up some cash. So let's serve customers. Let's serve our local customers, and let's hope that they're in the mood for dock leaves. So we got a 6, that's Brigger, so we can sell them a wild carrot, apple, or iron sword. We can also add 1 or 2 to that. So I want to get rid of some snake skin. So let's add 1 and let's send Brigger on our way and bring Vlad into the mix. And we can sell Vlad a truffle and a snake skin, which I think is good. Let's do that. So we're down to 1 truffle and 3 snake skins. And from that, we've earned 1 plus 2. We've earned 3 gold, so 3 coins. So not a lot of coin, but that's still not bad. All right, so we got an 8 coin, and we can go again. So let's try to serve another customer. 7. So Vlad is back, and we could sell him the same stuff again. Or we could serve buttons or hands, but really we don't have anything that they want. Oh, hands want snake skin too. Let's do Vlad again. Let's keep the truffle though. Let's just get rid of one of these snake skins. And so now there are 2 snake skins left because we sold 1 for 2 coin. So now we're up to 10 coin. And it is the orcs. Let's see. Oh, I forgot we had to increase the raid risk at the end of last season, so that's that. All right, so let's see what the orcs are up to. 9 plus 2, 11. So the orcs are foraging too. No, cross out a single plains or forest location. You may no longer forage here. That is a bummer. Wow. I don't want to. It's going to have to be this plains location, I think. We're going to cross that out. So no more foraging here. Bummer. And that's the end of the first round of autumn. We move on, and this time I think let's do this river location. Diversify our stock a little bit, so we just have one die in because there's no bonus in autumn for foraging rivers, and it's a 6, which is good because that's a pearl, I believe. Pearl, yep, which is one of the better resources. So now we have 1 pearl, and let's do some trading this time around. Let's trade with. So, by the way, Trader C is, we can't trade with Trader C until we've unlocked with the rare items trade. And so we might want to do that in the future, but for now we can't. So we're going to choose A or B, and when we, yeah, now one of these traders is going to increase our raid risk. That's the issue. So actually, let's not trade. Let's run the shop. Let's try to serve some local customers. No, let's try to serve some out-of-town customers. We have a bunch of these trade goods that we haven't managed to unload. So if we don't get rid of them, then we've used them for no reason really. So let's 2. Perfect. Okay, that's because Hino has walked in the shop, and they're after leather gauntlets, the Tome of Oddities, or Elixir of Strength. We have the Elixir of Strength and the leather gauntlets. So we're gonna sell both of them to old Hino. And the leather gauntlets were 3, so plus 2 because it's a traded item, so 5. And the elixir of strength was 5 plus 2, so 7. So we got 12 coin from Hino, bringing us to 22 coin. And we mark off that we have served Hino. Nice. Okay, and so let's try to serve another customer too. 6. So 6 would give us Leela, who just only wants a trout. I didn't say this, but I was planning on just serving out-of-town customers. Anyway, unfortunately, we don't have trout or leather gauntlets because we just sold our leather gauntlets before, so we can't serve them. And we could serve Balin, sell them, because we remember we have this ability to add 1 or 2 to the customer roll, and I think that's good actually. Yeah, let's sell some more snake skin. So serving Balin again, and we're selling them 1 snake skin for 2 coin. bringing us to the most money we've had so far, which is 24. And now I think it's time to do some serious. Some of these upgrades also give you commerce points, which are like victory. And I think let's do the rare items. You charge 1 extra coin per item sold. Oh no, let's do that. All right, so I've gone the tapestry, which is going to let us sell everything for 1 more coin, which I probably should have done earlier. I should have aimed for that earlier because that is work out well for us if we can offload a bunch of stuff. All right, and next we have a Orc's turn, the end of the round. They got an 8 plus 2, so 10. They're being mean to the locals again, so on the next round, we cannot sell to our local customers, unfortunately. So that's that. And all right, so we're on to our next round. Let's forage in this part of the forest here. I'm running out of spaces to forage now because you can't, I think I mentioned this earlier, but you can't forage the same location twice. And we do get 2 dice, which is nice. 1 and 6. So we get a truffle and a honeycomb. Nice. So we add our truffle here. Don't have any space in the regular area of the shop for our honeycomb, but remember we got our upgraded storage, so we can add a honeycomb down here. Honeycomb 1. And we cannot serve our local customers, but I'm just debating if I should try to increase the rate. No, let's serve an out-of-town customer. Take a chance. And we got a 9, which gives us either Amara, Willow, or Roland, because we do have that ability to go up by 1 or 2. Amara isn't for anything we're selling, neither is Willow, and neither is Roland, unfortunately, so that shame. All right, so then we are on to the Orcs' turn, and they got a 9 plus 2, 11, so they are foraging 2. Oh dear. So they crossed out a single plains or forest location. You may no longer forage here, and it doesn't count towards the score. So we're running out of locations to forage, which is a bit of a shame. And so let's cross this location out here. These orcs, devastating. Okay, that's that. All right, and I forgot to do upgrades. Yeah, this is what I wanted to do, this upgrade before. Sorry, so that's the upgrade I wanted to do. So now I can trade with Trader C, and that's going to bring us down to 6 gold. Yeah, let's do it. Alrighty, and this is going to be the last. We're going to go foraging again in the last location. One that is not going to anger the orcs. Let's see what, and again it's a forest, so we get 2 dice. And we send our assistant out, they get a 3 and a 6, so our assistant finds 1 truffle and 1 piece of honeycomb. Honeycomb you can sell for 3, which is pretty good, and truffle you can just sell for 1, but we have 3, so that's not bad. Now we're going to run the shop with our second action, and let's serve a local customer. And we've got 6, so we can do 6, 7, or 8. So we can serve Brigger, Vlad, or Buttons. Seaweed, no. We have 1 snake skin left. But we have 1 truffle. Yeah, I think we'll just serve Vlad, and we'll just sell him 1 truffle, because I want to keep the snake skin, because potentially we'll need it in the future. So we're down to 2 truffles, and a truffle costs 1. Oh, okay. So 1 coin for that. So we're up to 7. Let's try another local customer, I think. 6, so we can do 6, 7, or 8, and let's serve Vlad again, and let's just sell him another truffle. So now we are up to 8 coin. There are 2 actions done. We could do an upgrade, but I want to save my coin for the next round's trading phase, so I could potentially buy something from Trader C. So I'm not going to do that, so we'll see what the orcs are up to right now. 3 plus 2 gives us 5, so they're not doing anything, which is a welcome relief. And we fill in the end of the round. Okay, and see what is next. Oh, sorry, what are we doing? What am I doing? I can, still got only 2 places left to forage. So, and this is going to increase the raid risk when we do that. So I think it's good to put, I'm going to skip foraging this round. And we'll get our assistant to trade with Trader C. Also, I've got a lot of stuff as it is. So yeah, see what Trader C, we visit Trader C, so fill that in. And they offer us a magic scroll for 7 coin. And looking here, I can see that two customers are looking for a magic scroll. So that's not too bad. So I think that's worth it. So I buy the magic scroll, or my assistant buys a magic scroll, I should say, for 7. And we add it to our trade goods. And now with the second action, I'm going to try to serve the out-of-town customers. And hopefully someone wanting a magic scroll waltzes in. We get 7. And remember, we can add 2 to our dice roll, which is good because I don't really want to, even if I could, I don't want to serve these first 2, 7, Balin or Milo, because we've already served them. But if I add 2, I can serve Amara, who is looking for a magic scroll, a trout, or a ruby amulet. We'll, of course, get rid of the magic scroll. So as soon as it entered the shop, it left. But the good thing is that cost 9. Well, it cost me 7. I sold it for 2 plus 2, so sold it for 9, and now we're up to $10. And I will not do any upgrades for now, I think. Oh, actually, I have forgotten about this upgrade. That has meant we can sell things for an extra gold. So I might have missed that a couple of times. In any case, I've remembered it now, and I've jacked up my prices. And we actually sold that for 10, not 9. So now we have 11. Oh, we can serve another customer too. We can try to. 12. Okay. Oh, this is good. So Thorn is after Mage's Robes, which we have. So we're going to sell our Mage's Robes, which is awesome because they were worth 4. Oh, okay. That's that. Okay. Worth plus 2 plus the 1 I get from the Tapestries upgrade. So 7, meaning we're now up to 18 coin. All right. So now I'm thinking about upgrades. And looking at Pet Mimic prevents raids on your Emporium. And looking at the Orc actions, the Emporium's going to get raided if their 17 gets rolled. Well, that would be a 12 plus 5, because this will get reached 5 at some point. And that would be pretty annoying. But that's also pretty unlikely that I'd roll double 6s. So I think for now, I'm not going to choose that. I like this counterbell, actually. Oh, this is good. Lucky Charm. You may decrease customer roll by 1, and you may reduce your raid risk by 2. Wow. All right. That would mean that we're back down to a 0 raid risk. The Lucky Charm. Let's do that. Yeah. And 5 as well. So the raid risk goes down to 0 for now, and that cost 5. So we're down to $13. All right, so I've done my upgrades. Let's see what the orcs are up to. 8. Oh, that was a good time to reduce the raid risk, because 8 would have meant that would have been 10, and our local customers would have not visited next round. But as it is, the raid risk is down, and the orcs are just hanging out in their tent, not doing anything, which is nice. And that is the end of the round. And finally, realize, so with no foraging in rivers, I can only forage 1 more turn for the entire game. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to forage in this river here, which gives us extra 2 resources, which is good, but it also jacks up the raid risk back to 2. So that was not being on the Orcs raid radar was short-lived, because that's the end of that. So now we're going to go foraging this last round in autumn, and we're going to roll 3 dice. So I'll roll 1 at first. So 4, 4, 2. So a 2 and 2 4s in the river it was. So that means we get seaweed. Oh, this is a shame. Now seaweed and 2 pearls. Oh no, it's fine because I already have pearls here. Yeah. So we get. I was worried that I didn't have space to actually put one of the items in, but that's okay. I do. So now we're up to 3 pearls and 1 scrap of seaweed here. That's that. Okay, so that's our foraging done, and we could see the trader again, or we could run the shop. I think we've got quite a lot of goods, so I think we want to serve some local customers and maybe try to sell some of these. Yeah, some local customers. Let's see who we get. 10. Now, as part of the previous upgrade I got, reduce the customer roll by 1, so that could be a 9, and I can also increase it by 1 or 2. So I've got, with that roll, I've got access to Hands, Pedal, Mikhail, or Rumble. And I think I'll increase it to 12 because then I can sell some pearls, and we already have 2 of those. We already have 3 of those, so that is good. So now we're down to 2 pearls. Yeah, I'll sell 1 pearl for now, and pearl's worth 4, which is quite nice. So that's to 17 bucks. Do we do upgrades or do we save? I think we have to save our money because we don't have anywhere to forage anymore. We've stripped the land bare because this river is going to get frozen over in winter, so we won't be able to forage there either. And yeah, I think we're going to have to do that. So I'll just keep the coin as is for now. And just so I know, I'm just going to cross this off just so I remember that we can't go there. And oh, got to see what the orcs are doing, of course. Orcs 10, oh, okay, 10, it's going to be 12. The orcs are foraging too. Well, that's okay because they've already, we've ripped off all the, hang on, let me read that again. Cross out a single plains or forest location. You may no longer forage here and it cannot count towards your final score. So my question is, does that mean, even though I've already foraged in these spaces, do I cross it off here and it doesn't count towards my score? I guess that's the question I'm not too sure about. I think it would make sense that I can't forage in a place that's already been foraged, right? So I'm gonna give myself a break there and say it doesn't, like this location, for example, is not going to get crossed out. Reason is all the locations you have foraged do count towards your score towards the end. So yeah, so I hope that I'm following the right rule there, but yeah. So it happens as a result of that orc action, I think. Yes, that's what I'm going to say. All right, that is the end. Oh, I didn't show that in. So I'm going to put both of these in because our assistant, have the assistant for the rest of the game. But that is the end of autumn, and our raid risk does go up by 1. So it's now at 3, and it's time for winter. So winter, there's going to be no foraging. We're just going to visit the traders. I'm going to start with Trader C, and we're going to send our assistant to go and chat with them. And 6, they offer up a dragon scale. Looking at the, oh, and I forgot, I think, yeah, I thorn before, the magic robe, so I didn't fill that in. Now looking at the different things that the customers want, I'm noticing that none of them actually want the dragon scale that we haven't already served. So that's not a great item. So I do need to say that I've visited Trader C. So I think we won't actually use our coin with them, but we will run the shop, and we're going to hope that we still have some items that Auric and Gunnar want. So I think, yeah, we'll sell out-of-town customers. First, we got a 7, and we can decrease it by 1 or increase it by 2. Let's it by 1, and we'll sell Milo a pearl again, just to build up our cash a bit more. So sold them a pearl that is worth 4, plus 1, because everything is worth extra due to our tapestries upgrade. So we now sold that for 5, and we're now sitting on 22 bucks. 22 bucks, and we can serve another customer. 9, meaning we could choose 8, 9, 10, or 11 due to our upgrades. And we could really just do the pearl again. I don't want to save that pearl just in case we need it, because we're not going to be able to do any more foraging for the rest of the game. So yeah, skip. We'll send those back out the door. Upgrades, yes, prevent raids on the Emporium. So I think that could be good, and it does give us, oh, this is good too. Yeah, all right. Chapter 1, counterbell. We're doing a counterbell, which costs 7 gold. So we're now 15 gold. And we can now re-roll the dice completely, which is handy to try to get some of these remaining out-of-town customers serviced. All right, let's see what the orcs are doing. They got a 7 plus 3 gives them 10, which means local customers are being attacked, so we can't serve the local customers in the next round. And that is the end of the first round of winter. In the next round of winter, we are going to, I think we're just going to have to take a chance and start trading and increasing our raid risk. I believe that it cannot go past 5 because there's no slots past 5. I'm not, I think the only, so the raid risk is not going to go past 5 anyway, so may as well just start trading with these guys freely. And I need to be a bit more strategic and think, what do these customers actually want? So Auric and Gunnar are looking for pearls, which I have. And just looking through here, I think bracelets would be a good thing to buy actually. And Trader B is the one who sells bracelets. So I'm going to go to Trader B and hope that I roll a 4. So let's see. Perfect. All right. So with that, I fill that in and I increase the raid risk and I buy a bracelet for 4, bringing me to 11 coin. And the bracelet. All right, and so the assistant has done that really, and next they're going to try to serve I'm going to try to serve an out-of-town customer, hopefully one that needs a bracelet. And I got a 7. Again, I can reduce that by 1 or increase it by 2, meaning I can serve 6, 7, 8, or 9. That's unfortunate because Lila only just wants a trout or leather. So I can't serve any out-of-town customers that round. We skip to upgrades. Could prevent raids on the Emporium. That Emporium raid's actually impossible right now because the raid risk has to be at 5 for that to even be possible. So I won't worry about that for now. So let's skip the upgrades and see what the orcs are up to. And they get a 9, which will increase by 4. So that becomes a 13. All right, we're up to a new orc action now. 13, 14. The orcs are burning the countryside. Roll D6 to discover where they have been foraging. 1 or 2 plains, 3 or 4 forests, 5 or 6 river. Roll on the foraging table for that location type. That item is no longer available. Cross it off. Well, I've already foraged everything, so I'm not even going to bother going through. Oh, I will go through it just for the sake of immersion, I guess, but not really going to matter what I get. So 6 river, and then I roll again. 3. All right, so they have all the seaweed out of the rivers. So that's unfortunate, but fortunately for us, our foraging days are behind us, and that doesn't really matter. So that is the end of that round. We're going to go trading again. This time we are going to trade. What do I want? I need honeycomb. So I'm just saying who I can serve. I can serve Orc, can serve Gunner, can serve leather gauntlets. Could be good because maybe gauntlets. All right. So maybe Trader. We visited Trader A, so our raid risk is up to its max, and we'll see what they have to offer. I'm hoping for 3, 5. All right, so Mage's Robes. The customers that we haven't served yet aren't looking for those, so I'm just gonna not bother with that one. But I will try to serve some customers anyway, and I'll try to serve out-of-town customers. 7, again, I can't serve any of these customers, so unfortunately, that's a bit of a wasted turn. And it's over to the orcs. Let's see what... Oh, no. Can do an upgrade. Now, I think I could try to prevent the raids. I'd lose all my money, though. So I'm not going to do the Pet Mimic upgrade. And I'm just going to hope that I don't roll double 6s for the orc actions, which is going to have them raid our Emporium, which means we're going to lose 2 coin. And we're going to lose all of 2 types of stock, which would be pretty devastating. So hopefully not double 6s. That is unfortunate, but that's okay. We will push on through the recession that is affecting our this whole game has just been a metaphor for the current environment, I think. But in any case, we have to lose two resources. So that is a shame. I think the wild carrot has to go because I don't think any of the out-of-town customers want it. So that's 1 gone. And snake skin is worth a bit, I think. So the snake skin's only worth 2. Truffle's only worth 1. Yeah, I'll ditch the truffle. So the truffles and the wild carrots are raised from the shop. All right. That was a bit of a rough round. It didn't do well for our shop, and we lost stuff due to the Orc Raiders. The game is the Orc Raiders, so it makes sense that they did attack us though. Okay, so we're gonna starting, and we're gonna try to do some more trading. Let's go for the leather gauntlets again. Our raid risk is at its max, so we don't need to increase that. But if it wasn't at its max, we would increase it by seeing this trader again. I've just realized that before I could have re-rolled. I unlocked an upgrade that let us I could have, where was it? Yeah, I could have re-rolled the dice earlier. So I just need to keep that in mind for the next round. Anyway, let's see what Trader A has to offer. 1, ironmongery, and none of Our unserviced out-of-town customers are looking for that, so I'm going to skip that. And we'll go straight to the out-of-town customers. Again, hopefully we can sell off some honeycomb to one of them. So we'll roll and we get a 7. We got that again. That's not great for us, but we can re-roll. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. 5. Okay, this, so we could choose 4, 5, 6, or 7. And I think honeycomb is going to be the best option. So I think we'll serve leaf. And we'll sell them this, one of the 2 remaining honeycombs. So we'll sell them we'll sell them the honeycomb for 3 plus the 1 that we got for the tapestries upgrade. So we'll sell that for 4. So we're up to 13 coin. And we can go again, try to serve another out-of-town customer. 8. Oh, okay, add 2. Yeah, we add 2 to that and we can serve Willow. So let's do that. And so we can serve them by selling our final bracelet. And the bracelet cost us 4, we mark it up by 2 and we get the bonus coin. So that cost us 7, so we're up to 20 coin now. All right, so this is getting a bit better. 20 coin. And we could do an upgrade, and let's do that. Let's buy the pet mimic, which is going to give us 3 commerce points, but more importantly, you're going to prevent another case double 6s get rolled again. All right, so we've prevented the raids. But still, the orcs are going to be doing something annoying. So let's see what they're up to this round. 7 plus 5, 12. They are foraging 2. Okay, and this was the one where I decided that at this point of the game, that means nothing. So they're not, because the whole land has been foraged. Yeah, I'm not sure if that is going to be the correct rule. Probably not, but that's my house rule for now. Yeah. All right, and that's the end of the round. We have 2 more rounds left. We start the round by trading. We only have 3 customers left to serve, and we have 9 coin left. We really want leather gauntlet bracelet would be good. 4 customers left, sorry. Yeah, I think we go for the leather gauntlets. For the leather gauntlets again, because we also need an iron sword. So 3 or a 4 would be good when we trade with Trader A. So our assistant trades with Trader A. 1 ironmongery, that is useless, so we don't end up not trading anything with them. And then we try to serve our out-of-town customers. We get a 12. We can reduce that by 1, and that would mean nothing because we don't have anything to sell to Roland. So we don't do that. We re-roll using our counterbell upgrade, and we get an 8. And that's useless too. So we don't serve any customers on this particular day. And the orcs are up to no good as usual. We'll see what they're doing. 9 plus 5, so they're up to 13. And they're burning the countryside again. And that means nothing because again, all the foraging has been done up to this point. And yeah, all right, so that's the end. We have 1 final round. We're gonna make Trader A again for a trading action. 4, all right, that's good. So we're going to trade for the iron sword. And so giving us 5 gold left. We have our iron sword. And you notice that I haven't been bothering trading with local customers at this point, just because we do get these commerce points, the victory points for serving out-of-town customers. So that's why I'm focusing on those at this late stage of the game. All right, so with our second action, I get a 6. Can't serve Lila or the customers 1 under her or 1 over or 2 over. So I'm going to re-roll and let's see what we get. 9. Okay, this is good because add 2 and we get Roland and offload the iron sword. Just going to cross that off. I know, might as well be lazy. So we got rid of the iron sword, and the iron sword cost us 4. So we marked it up by 2 and we added 1. So that's 7. So we're up to 12 coin. Then we do upgrades, but we've done all the upgrades that give us bonus. Oh, actually, we try to serve another customer because we service. Yeah, sorry, we try to serve another customer with our final action. 2. Now we can add 1 to that. Oh, this is good. Okay. Yes. Pearl. Yeah, it doesn't matter, but let's just choose Auric, and we sold Auric at Pearl. Pearl's 4. So which is +1, so 5. So we're up to 17. All right, that's pretty good. Okay, now on to upgrades, finally, and we don't have anything we can really upgrade. That makes sense, so we're going to skip that. And the Orc Raiders' final action is going to be 5 plus 5, 10. They are being mean to the locals again, and they're going to terrorize locals in the next round, which is going to be in the beyond the plot of this particular game, so that doesn't really matter. And that is the end of the game, really. The next thing to do, or the final thing to do, is just to score the game. So the way scoring works is we earn 1 commerce point per 3 locations visited. So we've 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So we got 5 points from that. We earn commerce points from upgrades. So we earn 2 plus 3, 5 plus 3, 8 plus 6, 14, I believe. We'll just double check that. 9, 12, 14. Yep. So we earn 14 points for upgrades. We also earn points for serving out-of-town customers. You score 1 commerce point per out-of-town customer you've served at least once. And we serve 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, and you earn points for your leftover coin as well. You score 1 commerce point for each 5 coin remaining. So we have, so that means 3. All right, so that gives us 19, 28, 31. 31, okay. In regular game, by the way, there is a thing called the haggle points and eagle eye points that allow you to manipulate dice rolls when you're foraging or when you're trading, I believe. But you actually lose points if the more that you use of those. So anyway, I think at the start I said I was aiming to beat my previous score of 26. So I've done that. And in earning 31, I've see in our how did you do section here. How did you do? 31 commerce points. Impressive. Your reputation has grown to the point where some prefer your establishment to the Eager Otter Boutique. All right, so I did pretty good. I've just earned 4 more points. I would have got like the best possible score. But still, that's not bad for a first effort at the Orc Raiders expansion. So anyway, that has been the Orc Raiders expansion for Village Emporium, a game by Ways Unseen. Ways Unseen, I became aware of years ago from his work making kind of RPG art. You should definitely check out his work if you haven't already. And he's also actually collaborating with me on Dungeon Mapmaker, which is currently in development now. So that's how I found out about this game, actually, as I was looking at work by Ways Unseen, and I realized that he's also into making his own games, which is really cool. And this I think this game is a really kind of almost cozy game for one player, and it's, again, the rules aren't exceptionally complicated. I made a couple of minor mistakes where I forgot to add some of the upgrades that I purchased, but other than that, you're not going to go through the whole game and then realize you've played it wrong or anything. So I think that it's a really smooth game to play, and if you get a chance to play it, let me know how it goes in the comments. But other than that, again, thanks for tuning in to this video, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.